Okay, in this video we're going to just continue on with roots, and there was one part I wanted to put in the last video that we didn't get a chance to do, and that's taking a look at the square root when we have variables. If I had something like the square root of m to the power of 4, that's going to be a little bit different than working with numbers. What you've got to try to think is, what would the answer be here if we know that something has to multiply by itself to make m4. So what would these be if they had to be the same number? And they would have to be 2, because 2 plus 2 will be m4. So that means the square root of m4 is m2. If I were doing the square root of m6, you would think, okay, what times itself would make m6? And the answer would have to be 3, because 3 plus 3 would be 6, so the square root of m6 would be m3. So try these examples for yourself. And see if you can figure out what the answers are. So pause this and do them yourself. Okay, the answer for the first one would be m4, because m4 times itself would be m8, because we add the exponents. This one would just be m6. Now if you can't figure that out, go back and take a look. Remember, when you're rooting powers, this is different than numbers. So just make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, that part's not super important. The next part is taking a look at when you are going to multiply roots. So if I had something like 2 root 5 and I multiplied it by 3 root 2, the way it's going to work is the numbers are outside of the jail. So you can think of it like this. Like, if you're outside the jail, you can talk and interact with people that are outside of the jail. The 5 and the 2 are in the jail. They can only interact with each other because they're both in jail. So just like fractions, you can just multiply across. So all you've got to do here is multiply 2 times 3. So these two multiply together to get 6. And the roots multiply together to get root 10. And that's all you've got to do. So that would be your answer. The same thing with dividing. If you had something like, I don't know, 8 root 10, and we divided it by 2 root 5, you just do the same thing.
Nicole West to the office, please. Nicole West.
These two can divide. So you would get 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then these two can divide. So you would get root 2. And that's your answer. Okay, the final thing would be, if you're taking a look at adding and subtracting, so this would be for adding or subtracting roots. The roots, just like fractions, must be the same. And that's really important. Okay, that's only for adding and subtracting. If it's multiplying and dividing, it's really simple. So all you've got to do here is, if it's 3 root 5 plus 1 root 5, you're just saying, if I have 3 root 5s and 1 root 5, how many root 5s will I now have? And the answer is 4 root 5s. The roots stay the same. Just like when you're adding and subtracting fractions and the bottoms are the same, in your answer the bottom also stays the same. The same thing is with roots. So let's try another example. If I tried something like 2 root 3 minus 4 root 3, you keep the root the same, so you know you're going to have root 3, and all you're going to do is go 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So your answer just would be negative 2 root 3. So that's pretty easy. Okay, what I'd like you to do is just try a couple examples here really quick. Pause the video and see if you got them right. So we'll try a multiplication one. Okay, so try that one. Let's try an addition one as well, or a couple addition ones. And try root 4, I should not do that. Root 3 plus 2 root 3. Okay, pause it and try these. Okay, here's the first one. Because we're multiplying, you don't have to make the roots the same. Just multiply that with that and get 6. Multiply that with that, and because they're both in jail, they become root 15. This one, the roots are the same, so you know it's going to stay as root 5. 3 minus 5 will be negative 2. And on the last one, there's a 2 here. There's nothing right here, but it's really just 1. So it's going to be 1 plus 2 is 3 root 3. Okay, that's it for roots. What I would do is maybe watch this again while you're working on the notes worksheet and the assignment.